This video walks through the Treasury review chain and the certification lock problem in the Emert and Burnett voucher file. The central question is whether the red lines, the word methodologic assistant, and the Burnett name variations point to an accounting problem, or whether they are better understood as routine adaptation of a printed government form. This is an evidentiary explainer, not legal advice. The point is to separate what the originals prove, what the later copies changed, and what remains unresolved. First, the file is not a loose assortment of scraps. It is built around account 237,177, McChesney's settled Treasury account for North American ethnology in the first and second quarters of 1883. The source set includes original vouchers, salary vouchers, the Burnett sub-vouchers, Smithsonian manuscript copies, and later typescript copies. That layering matters. A pay form in an original voucher has a different evidentiary value than a later typescript rendering. Section of the plate is important because it shows that the account was in fact examined. The documents carry Treasury receipt, first auditor action, comptroller action, and register entry. The red verification marks right under manuscript entries throughout the file. So the best reading is not that the Emert vouchers escaped Treasury review. They were part of a settled account. If there was an irregularity in the way a printed certificate block was adapted, the record shows that it was handled within the review process, not hidden from it. Section B shows the certification blocks. On the purchase vouchers, Cyrus Thomas executes the certificate. The printed form language was designed for the disbursing agent office, but the actual certifying officer was Thomas, the ethnologist. That is why the return clause is struck, and on voucher 40 the printed title disbursing agent is redlined beside Thomas's signature. In plain terms, the form did not perfectly fit the transaction, so the inapplicable printed language was corrected on the document. The hand comparison at the bottom of the plate separates the title line from the signature. The black words methodologic assistant look like Emert's own title writing on the salary vouchers. Thomas's title, ethnologist, has a different rhythm and form. That points to a two-hand execution. Emert filled or supplied the title line, while Thomas signed the certificate. As a result, the block briefly described the wrong office identity, but the red strike-through removed the printed disbursing agent label and made the certification fit the actual signer. The Burnett name variants are a separate issue, and they should not be counted as one undifferentiated pile. In the 1883 originals, April reads J.M. Burnett. The May Soapstone sub-voucher reads S.M. Burnett in the pay line, but J.M. Burnett in the receipt signature. The Washington voucher body also repeats S.M. for voucher 40. Later, the certified copies regularize the pay to J.M. throughout. Still later, a typescript introduces J.H. and J.N. forms. Those typed forms are copy stage ghosts, not proof of additional original signers. The May 21 original is the strongest point in the Burnett evidence. The pay line reads S.M. Burnett, while the receipt signature reads J.M. Burnett. That makes the S versus J divergence native to the surviving Treasury original. It is not just a later typescript mistake. But because the vouchers state that receipts were signed in duplicate, a retained bureau duplicate may have existed. If that retained duplicate reads J.M. in the pay line, then McChesney's later copy may have copied his own exemplar faithfully. That duplicate exemplar problem remains unresolved. The copy chain moves in one direction, toward regularization. The certified manuscript copies render the pay as J.M. Burnett throughout. They also repair or normalize a pipes rate problem in the April voucher. The typescript copy then introduces J.H. and J.N. readings that the 1883 originals do not support. So the safe conclusion is not that there were 4 original Burnett identities. The safe conclusion is that the copy chain is not a literal facsimile chain and must be handled separately from the original Treasury vouchers. So, was it legal in 1883? Based on the internal record, The conservative answer is that the alteration was more likely a curative or immaterial form adaptation than a fatal legal defect. Thomas, not McChesney, certified the purchases. Emmert likely supplied the ethnologic assistant title line. The printed dispersing agent language did not fit the actual signer, and it was struck. Most importantly, the account proceeded through the first auditor and comptroller chain. That does not prove every mark was ideal, but it strongly undercuts the idea that the altered block automatically invalidated the voucher. The bottom line is balanced, but powerful. The vouchers do show real discrepancies. SM versus JM, corrected printed language, and later copies that regularize the record. But the certification block is not, by itself, a smoking gun that the voucher was illegal or rejected. The stronger point is evidentiary. The originals, the audit marks, and the copies do not all say the same thing. For future work, the decisive targets are the retained duplicates, ink sequencing, if originals can be examined, and any period Treasury or comptroller rule directly addressing adapted certificate blocks and misdescribed titles.